Limestone canyons, flowing waterfalls, and pristine beauty make Spearfish a sanctuary for those seeking the ultimate escape. Outdoor enthusiasts will find top-notch sport climbing, mountain biking, and UTV OHV trails. Guests are steps away from peaceful hiking trails and tranquil streams. Relax and rehash your day's adventure at one of our award-winning...
A membership with Sioux Valley Co-op will benefit you. Simply put, a membership with Sioux Valley Co-op is ownership. They're owned and controlled by members. No outside investors. So all of their annual revenues go back to their customers. Become a member today. You will benefit.
Sioux Valley Co-op. Your energy needs with service guaranteed.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
Winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
I'm Tegan Mason.
I'm Carson Hamill.
I'm Andrew Odden.
On behalf of Mason Ox Ranch.
From everyone here at Odden Charlet.
And on behalf of the Scattered Star Ranch.
From our family to yours.
From the Phillip community, I just want to say thank you.
We thank you.
Thank you. I would like to thank you, the consumers.
We thank you for choosing beef.
Thank you for choosing beef.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable, non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislick special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
The Guard helps you get an education. The South Dakota Army National Guard offers all its service members in-state tuition assistance towards your college or technical school education. For your service, you will receive 50% off tuition at all South Dakota Board of Regents colleges. If you attend a technical school in the state, you will receive 83.5% off tuition. For more information, visit their Facebook and Instagram pages or check out their website, nationalguard.com/SD.
World-class service with hometown friendliness. That's what you can expect from the staff of Haler Automotive. We sell new vehicles from both Chevrolet and Buick, along with a good selection of late-model pre-owned vehicles. And if you're looking for something a little more vintage, come take a look at our classic car showroom, Highway 12 Classics. We have a full service department, parts department, and a body shop. We're conveniently located East Highway 12 in Webster, or view all of our inventory online at HalerAuto.com.
Paraboom's Cafe, your hometown family restaurant since 1976, going on 4 generations of quality, friendly service, always here for you and your family. We serve locally ground burger from Jorgensen's Meat, never frozen and hand-pattied right here in our own kitchen. Paraboom's Cafe has our very own soup Nazi Mitch, who creates tasty, good-for-your-soul soups daily. And of course, a Paraboom's breakfast like our popular scrap pile or the famous Parma rolls will cure any morning blues you may have, all while being treated graciously from one of our kind staff. Paraboom's Cafe. Go Bearcats!
For those who don't like to be still, For those with things to do and the drive to get them done. For those in search of a partner to help make it happen, there's a bank. A bank that listens, acts, and impacts all things right here. Dakota Bank. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with integrity. For banking, insurance, mortgage, and trust. Dakota Bank, here for you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Insurance and Trust Services, not FDIC insured.
Limestone canyons, flowing waterfalls, and pristine beauty make Spearfish a sanctuary for those seeking the ultimate escape. Outdoor enthusiasts will find top-notch sport climbing, mountain biking, and UTV OHV trails. Guests are steps away from peaceful hiking trails and tranquil streams. Relax and rehash your day's adventure at one of our award-winning local breweries. Finding rest is an important part of any adventure. Lodging in Spearfish comes with a variety of choices, from cabins, B&Bs, and campgrounds to the comforts of your popular brand-name hotels. To find your unique adventure in Spearfish, go to visitspearfish.com now.
A membership with Sioux Valley Co-op will benefit you. Simply put, a membership with Sioux Valley Co-op is ownership. They're owned and controlled by members. No outside investors. So all of their annual revenues go back to their customers. Become a member today. You will benefit.
Sioux Valley Co-op, your energy needs with service guaranteed.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
Winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
I'm Tegan Mason.
I'm Carson Hamill.
I'm Andrew Odden.
On behalf of Mason Knox Ranch,
From everyone here at Odden Charlet.
And on behalf of the Scattered Star Ranch,
from our family to yours,
From the Phillip community, I just want to say thank you.
We thank you.
thank you. I would like to thank you, the consumers.
We thank you for choosing beef.
Thank you for choosing beef.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislick special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
The Guard helps you get an education. The South Dakota Army National Guard offers all its service members in-state tuition assistance towards your college or technical school education. For your service, you will receive 50% off tuition at all South Dakota Board of Regents colleges. If you attend a technical school in the state, you will receive 83.5% off tuition. For more information, visit their Facebook and Instagram pages or check out their website, nationalguard.com/SD.
World-class service with hometown friendliness. That's what you can expect from the staff of Haler Automotive. We sell new vehicles from both Chevrolet and Buick, along with a good selection of late-model pre-owned vehicles. And if you're looking for something a little more vintage, come take a look at our classic car showroom, Highway 12 Classics. We have a full service department, parts department, and a body shop. We're conveniently located East Highway 12 in Webster, or view all of our inventory online at HalerAuto.com.
Pearwin's Cafe.
Stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Go ahead and we'll call the meeting to order. Motion to approve the agenda. I do not have any changes.
So moved.
Thank you, Marty. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Aaron. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public communications? None? Budget hearing. Motion to approve the 2021-2022 budget.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Discussion? Before we start turning, we've had this here. I think we just go ahead and open it up to the group. If we have questions, why don't we go ahead and ask them of Lori, and maybe that way we can kind of just cut through the chase if there's anything out there. So if you have any questions, let them rip, or comments.
I just have a comment during capital when we get to that.
So you include a little more info for us, Lori.
It is.
In your packet?
A few things we should read.
Just throwing it in there.
All really good stuff. I mean,
yeah.
It seems like every year there's more and more stuff in there, and this year, a lot of good stuff. Thank you.
You put in some of the stuff that makes your job hard that we should read.
It was good. Very well done. I mean, everything is well explained, and you were able to cross-reference back. This is a good budget book.
On the food budget, what quite a bit of that finances for that comes from that's federal money, right?
Yes, Marty, because we're in this second year of COVID, and I have an application like this that I'm working on right now to complete. If it gets approved, our school district will have free meals, breakfast and lunches for one more year. And so that's why the budget looks a little different, because the majority of our revenue will be federal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a difference of $113,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know, the food service budget, that one's always a little more difficult. It's not, it's not a lot, but it's always just off a little bit, because it all depends on how your percentage of free and reduced meal applications. And so, you don't get them you can get them throughout the year, but the majority of those are in September, and that's all federal funding when you start dealing with that, so.
We're supposed to set those prices tonight?
Yep, that's in our, yep.
I guess I'm just, with COVID and everything, and it's, we normally operated at break even or a slight loss. So I don't know how you do it with COVID, how you come out there, but.
How does the federal reimbursement work? I mean, are we profitable at the federal reimbursement rates?
It's the same rate that we've set based upon those.
Okay.
We have to set our rates still.
Right. So to Larry's point, do we
spending,
raise it this year?
Yeah, we're spending COVID money.
Do we raise it this year knowing next year we may need to reduce it?
I know milk has always been a big issue, hasn't it?
But raising it, you can raise it if you want to, but we're not charging it. The only thing we are charging for this year would be seconds and extra milks.
But will it increase our federal funding?
No, it does not, no.
Okay.
Every school that does this we get the free reimbursement rate. So in our lunchroom, we have to track how many meals, it doesn't matter who eats, we track how many each day. We turn that in, we get the free reimbursement rate, which is the highest rate.
Which we still set our fees, but it just doesn't matter.
Is that reimbursement rate about what we normally charge?
It's a little more.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have that with me.
Okay.
But if you look at our financial report, you know, we're doing okay in our food service this year. And, you know, part of that is, for some reason, our breakfast program, during normal years, we just cannot get a lot of participation, and we've tried different, you know, things to get and we just can't. I mean, it's usually like 50 a day, which is low for our size school. But now with this and with the free breakfast, so that's really helped. We're up, you know, I would say 150 or some.
Drift up.
Yeah.
Is breakfast a requirement?
No. The majority of schools all do that, all have breakfast, but you're not required to.
Is lunch required?
No.
When I first started in Mobridge, they had just brought in, it was one of their sales pitches, they had just brought in, we now have hot lunch.
When was this?
What's that?
When was this? What year?
It's been mid-90s. They just sent them home. They gave an hour.
Wow.
Murdo didn't have, and I don't know if they still do, but Jones County they didn't have a lunch. The kids brought their own lunches and just ate in the classroom.
Bottom line, when you look at where we're at right now, usually it's been about every 3 or 4 years where we've had to supplement the food service budget a little bit to bring it back to the correct parameter. We're solid with where we're ending the year at about a $27,000 reserve. So I think that's a good food budget number. Not much has changed. It seems to be all in line.
Lori, what changed in the general fund that the state aid went up?
That the state aid went up from the preliminary budget?
From the previous year?
Yes, because I am anticipating more enrollment.
Okay.
Because what I do is, when I start working on my budget, like March and April and May, I take the classes that we have, which would be first grade, you know, drop the seniors out, add the names on the list for the kindergarten. And then you also have to realize, like, yeah, last year was, basically increased enrollment.
Okay.
Is that due just because of the COVID? Now we're back to regular school now, so the kids that were...
No, because here's the other thing. We had, the students that we had online through the Flex Learning, we could still count them because we paid that software company to do that. But we also had some students just homeschool, and we cannot count those. So not included in this number, I did not include those homeschoolers, so I'm hoping, and you have to realize these are numbers from back in May, so if there's been turnover during the summer months, that's not, you know, positive or negative, that's not included. But I'm hoping some of those homeschoolers come back and that'll help too.
And what's our projected kindergarten enrollment, Craig?
We have 35 right now.
How many graduated last year?
29.
Pre-kindergarten, we have 14. So that's added on to the kindergarten, because they could be in kindergarten.
Is that about normal, what you've been seeing?
Actually a little bit higher, isn't it?
Yeah. Junior kindergarten counts towards state aid, preschool does not.
Right. Pre-kindergarten's higher than last year.
Because we're just under 50 with those two numbers, and normally it's 40 to 45 total. Well, no, because you've been having...
Kindergarten was higher last year, because first grade...
20 and 21.
First grade is 41.
Yeah.
Other comments about the budget, gentlemen? Questions?
And Joel, just one more thing on that state aid. Did you see the general state aid calculator? That's right. Yeah. We have to, I plug in those numbers, and then if you look at the bottom, that's where the calculations come from. So you see the 1.212 there?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, what triggered it to be almost $200,000 higher? Is that an increase in the state funding formula?
Because we also got an increase, yes.
Okay,
We got an increase.
2.4 is in there.
2.4%
I thought maybe they found that half a penny sales tax we passed 5 years ago.
No such luck yet.
I got that.
But it does make the difference. The local call for the ad valorem taxes is down.
That's right.
On general fund, $37,000.
That's great for our local taxpayers.
Yes, and each year the legislature, they reduce those levies every year.
And that's due to tax relief process, right? Or
That's just the law.
And our last bond payment will be made in January of next year, correct?
Correct.
And then that will only leave the athletic complex and the elementary remodel, the QSCB.
Yep, and just as a reminder for the QSCB, that was the elementary, and we did that. That was that different type of funding that we have in place. And, you know, in our budget, it shows where we're making those interest payments, but that's where I have to set up that Fund 32. But we're getting federal reimbursement for that full amount. So basically, that is 0% interest. And then because of that, because that money's in a sinking fund, and this is what Toby was saying also, because of, that money has been going into this sinking fund. That's on our financial report if you see it, and so that's been gaining interest all these years. And after year 20, I think it was, then we make the full payment. And with the interest that has been generated, we should be able to knock off 1 year of payments, hopefully.
On the capital outlay being the same call,
Yes,
it'll be more than we got last year because we get the 2 half years.
we'll get the full, yep.
So we actually,
We'll get the 166.
Jim, what did you have on capital outlay?
just needed to verify, and I put this in my notes, the information that I had for the clock system, which I put in the, was it S or 2, or maybe we haven't put it in?
No, it's not in anything.
I'm getting so confused with all these funds. I pulled it out of my file the other day, and it says in bold, hardware only. I had it highlighted, and it's 24/9 or something. And so I went to my tech coordinator and I said, okay, where did this one go? And that's when I learned that it actually went to $42,000, so it's $17,000 more. That's not all labor. There were some changes with additional digital clocks, which are more expensive than the analog clocks. And I think in my notes, I think it was to the tune of $12,500 for the labor and wiring and installation and travel. So we either have to say no to the project and then utilize that money elsewhere, or we have to make adjustments in the budget to move forward with that project.
How many clocks are there? That just seems like a lot of money for clocks.
It's very similar to the phones that we did 2 years ago. Didn't we spend like $40,000 just to upgrade our phone system? These types of things are just expensive. But the number of clocks, no, I do have it right here. Now this is just multiple ones. There's 18, 4, 14, 2, 2, 30. So, and then this also is a system that would be wireless. So they would have certain wireless connections throughout the building, and you can only have so many clocks on each one of those for it to work properly. So there's some infrastructure that would probably go in like the wiring closet in the elementary and maybe in the high school, and then all of that stuff gets connected. So
Once installed, can it be taken down and moved somewhere else?
Yes, as long as any of the clocks can be moved. I mean, if you want to move them within your room, as long as they're within the wireless signal, they can be anywhere in the building. So, but there's only, I don't know all the specifics, and I did listen to the whole sales process. There's only so many clocks you can put on each wireless connector. I'm not sure what they're called. Access point.
Is that Simplex Grinnell or?
No, this is, it's actually a company that Connecting Point subcontracts with. And so the bid is through Connecting Point, but it's actually a technology company that they work with.
Do you feel comfortable with them?
I've always been comfortable with Connecting Point.
Okay.
And a lot of people will sometimes criticize us because we use them so often, but tell me another school that's using anybody else.
Sure.
And you know, the gal that comes here for all of our technology is Lee Swanson. She's a soccer. She's from Webster. And I just feel like she gives us a little bit of extra assistance and quality in the whole process. She's going to be retiring, and that's going to be a downer for us in the long run. But you know, it's competitive. Anytime we do any purchases through Connecting Point when it comes to laptops, desktops, or the Chromebooks, they're all, the prices are all in line with anybody else that you would bid, whether you went with Lenovo or Dell or anything else. It's a competitive market, and so unless you're really purchasing a massive amount of equipment, you know, the quotes are going to be very similar from company to company.
I guess I'm of the opinion, I mean, this is one of them that we've been kicking the can on quite a few years, and I feel like we are in a position right now to spend the money and get the project done. I know it's expensive, but I'd be in favor of moving forward.
I agree. We've talked about clocks more than 2 or 3 times. I mean, it's time we just get this thing done.
Is there any audio with it?
No, this is not the intercom.
I was just
That's a
thinking,
different system.
it must
Yeah.
be about to the point where the audio and everything
That's still
all be
Simplex Grinnell.
the one, you'd think.
Our current intercom and clock system is all Simplex Grinnell, which is Johnson Controls now. They purchased Simplex Grinnell. And for the most part, it's going all right, but I'm frustrated with the intercom because the system that was installed in 2010 when we remodeled the elementary, and now they're telling me that they don't support that system anymore. So the cards that we need to go into the control box are no longer available. You have to get them on Amazon if you can find them. And so once they go kaplooey, then they're kaplooey, they're gone. And so, which is frustrating because to me, you know, we have the intercom system that we had in the old 3-story building. I think that was from prior to World War II. I mean, it looked like it was from prior to World War II. And we were still using it in the 90s. Wasn't the best, but it was all manual wire stuff too, so.
Yeah, and we never had a PA system until.
In the elementary, didn't until 2010.
2010, yeah.
I was only in the high school.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. We'll get the clocks done. Other questions on capital outlay?
I do want to say one more thing. Part of our issue here is the multiple buildings. They're all different age, and getting them to talk, all of the wiring and speakers and everything in the middle school, that's all now 30 years old. And we talked about just leaving that because it doesn't seem that old, but they said, you know, you can, but you may experience more issues with trying to bring that old equipment into the new system. So, because we got the 1950 swing, 90 swing, 2010 for the elementary, 2005 for the high school, it just, all that stuff has to talk. So.
It seems weird. I mean, if we look at everybody's phone, it's all going to say the same exact time. Why couldn't they just make something that would go off?
I've been asking that for years. Actually, since this system was installed in 2005, it has never, it's never synced with a satellite or anything. I've always had to set it manually, and then for whatever reason, when they installed and redid the stuff in the elementary, the control went from my office over here down to the elementary, so I have to go to Karen's station and set the time. And the daylight savings time, I don't know, at some point, the daylight savings time was a different week than it is now, a different weekend, because this system will actually change the clocks a week before daylight savings time, so then I gotta change them back on Sunday before we come back on Monday, and then the next week I gotta change them to the correct daylight savings time, so. And it's not terrible, but it's, I have it in my phone to remind me to go up on Sunday and change the clocks, so that they're correct on Monday. And I can't explain why any of that happens.
All right, gentlemen, anything else? I don't want to belabor the points. Anything else on the budget? If not, all in favor of approving the 2021-2022 budget as presented, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Conflicts disclosure? None? Minutes of our regular June 16th meeting, motion to approve. Thank you, Aaron. Second, Larry. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We've got three different motions here. First off, I'll call for a motion to approve the financial statements as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve supplemental budget 0807-21.
So moved.
Thank you, Larry. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Joel. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the contingency transfer.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to adjourn the 2020-2021 Board of Education.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Aaron. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you, I think, Lori, for the next part here.
Okay, at this time, we will have the oath for the board members who will be getting new terms, and I laid them on your table. If each one of you could take a turn and read it, and then I'll need a signed copy back, please.
You want to go first, Joel?
I, Joel Shoemaker of Webster Area School District 18-5, have been elected as school board member of the above-named school district in the above-named county, South Dakota. Do solemnly swear that I will support the laws and Constitution of the United States of South Dakota and faithfully perform the duties of school board membership, and by filing a bond if required by law and having it approved.
Okay. I, Thomas Sanis of Webster Area School District number 18-5, having been elected as school board member of the above-named school district in the above-named county for South Dakota, do solemnly swear that I will support the laws of the Constitution of the United States and the state of South Dakota, and do faithfully perform the duties of school board membership, and by filing a bond if required by law and having it approved.
Okay, and so with that, we will call to order the 2021-22 Board of Education. And at this time, I ask for nominations for chairperson.
Nominate Thomas Sanis.
Second.
Thanks, Larry. I'm going to still steal your Tic Tacs.
Any other nominations? And if not, I will accept a motion to cease nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Mr. Sanis.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Back to you, Tom.
All right, thank you, Lori, and thanks, Larry, Joel, gentlemen. Hopefully I do okay. Motion to appoint a vice chairman for the 2021-2022 school year.
Nominate Joel.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Congratulations, Joel.
Don't miss a meeting, Tom.
I don't plan on it. Motion to approve the claims as presented.
So moved.
Thanks, Joel. Second. Thank you, Aaron. Discussion?
There was 2 property liability claims, one from the EMC and one from SFM.
Yes. SFM is actually our workers' comp, and EMC is our property and liability. They're 2 separate.
So how often do you pay the SFM? I didn't see it I looked back a couple months, I didn't see it in there.
Yeah, we pay that monthly, but SFM, we pay that monthly, but it gets done earlier in the year, whereas EMC, it's for the full 12 months. And, we're with a different agent, but these are actually the same 2 companies that we had last year, EMC and SFM.
Any other questions, comments on the claims? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the comprehensive special education plan.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Discussion?
This is just an annual approval of a plan that has actually been drafted by the NESC. And I think it's actually a state plan because it states consistent with state policies. And so if you would like to read it, you're sure welcome to. I do bring it each year. We put it in the file. It is something that does provide guidance for us when we're dealing with all of our special needs students. So it just sets everything in writing.
Any other questions? Comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the contract of Amanda Lesner, Food Service Director.
So moved.
Thank you, Larry. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Joel. Discussion?
Experience. She was in, is this a move up or?
She's been working in our kitchen staff for a few years now.
Okay.
I think it's good that we're able to find somebody in-house. I was a little worried about that position, so good. I'm glad to hear.
And we're gonna provide her a lot, it's a big job. And so we're gonna provide her as much training and help, but it'll be a learning process, so.
Good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Give her our best. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the contract of Eric Coyne as junior high football coach.
So moved.
Thank you, Aaron. Second, Marty. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the contract amendment of Wade Roush for assistant football coach.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Aaron. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion, now do I gotta do 4 separate motions on the open enrollment? Or is it 1?
We can do 1.
1?
Just listen.
Okay, motion to approve open enrollment applications 2201, 2202, 2203, and 2204.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second? Thank you, Aaron. Discussion?
Incoming or outgoing?
Incoming.
Very nice.
Are those your number systems, Laurie? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Okay.
fiscal year 22, application number 1, application number 2.
And remember, we bring these all just because of the busing issue. 2 of them are no issue. Third was, I spoke with Jim and Lori, it was a location that was previously our buses went to, children graduated, child came back and now has children and wants to have the bus. I mean, so we've been there to this location before. There will be an additional $560 approximately for that pickup. Another one is relationships, and they've lived at this location before. However, they are doing a pickup at a mutually agreeable location because it was originally in the Langford School District, and so right now there's no additional busing costs. And those are the issues we always hit on every one of these open enrollment applications. Any other, Jim, did I miss anything on those? Okay. Any further questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve food service procurement bids.
So moved.
Second. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Larry. Discussion.
Same suppliers?
They are. And did you read the note from Sherry? You know, because we have to go through this whole procurement bidding process, and it's a lot of work for us, and it's a lot of work for the companies bidding, and as you saw in our notes about not receiving, those companies are not, because of how much work it is, they're not submitting bids, and so we're going with the 2 that we had last year.
Actually, I missed that.
I'll go ahead and, I don't think there's anything wrong reading this note into the record. Procurement for 2020, 2021, signed by Sherry Sickmiller, Dietary Director. I sent out personal requests for email quote bids in April to Bimbo Bakeries, parens, Sarah Lee, close parens, for our buns and bread orders, and to Cole Papers for our supplies and some cleaning supplies for the kitchen on April 15th, 2021. I also sent our procurement bidding sheets to Reinhardt and to Cashwa on May 18th. On May 18th and May 24th, the procurement items were placed in the Watertown paper and opened our food service and supplies products to all vendors interested. I received 1 bid back from Cole Papers on May 13th, 2021, and accepted that bid for products listed. I received no other bids back and have spoken to our previous vendors and told them that I would recommend them for the 2021-2022 school year. Reinhardt for prime vendor, and Cashwa for milk and other supplies needed, Bimbo Bakeries for bread products, and Cole Papers for the supplies and cleaning products. I will continue to use Jack and Jill for micro purchasing when small items are needed or shorted on the truck. Okay. All in favor of approving the food service procurement bids, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Gentlemen, as to the after-school transportation Tabor Church, this is the one we had tabled because I think they might be putting in for a grant, I'd heard. I still think that might be possibly the case. Not sure, but we still have time. I would recommend that until we know for sure, we just table that issue, put it back on the burner for next month. Okay? Motion to amend the 2021-2022 calendar to move in-service / prom up 1 week from April 8th to April 1st.
So moved.
Thank you, Larry. Second?
Second.
Second. Marty? Discussion? This is also an item we discussed. Did anybody have any feedback?
I haven't did hear anything.
I heard nothing back.
I didn't have any.
Okay. Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve policies, and we do have to do each one of these individually. We'll start off with the evaluation of personnel staff.
So moved.
Thanks, Joel. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Larry. Discussion?
This was what I had brought to your attention. I had given you just kind of the general policy, and I had the drafts of the sheets that we would use for the observations. I did extend an opportunity to our entire K through 12 teaching staff and guidance counselors to provide input on this. We did have a committee that helped design this anyway. I think we had 6 people total on that committee. I didn't receive any additional information or comments or any concerns, and so I'm moving forward with this as to be an approvable manner, and then we'll start utilizing it this year.
Okay.
Unless you have questions or concerns or comments. Or
So they just pick one of those things that they want to do
yeah.
out of that whole list?
There actually ended up being more than I had originally planned, but I was utilizing some information like from Aberdeen, Watertown, Britain, Hamlin, and I thought there were some neat ideas. It's my hope that in those off years or alternate years that they can find something that they want to work on that will be something good for reflection for them as teachers.
I'm curious to see how it works. I mean, it is something new. It's, I think it could work. I think there's good possibilities that good things could come of this, so.
I personally believe that when you're not stuck with, I shouldn't say stuck because we need to have the tools that we use, but when you're not confined to an evaluation tool, I think it does lend itself to a little bit more dialogue between me as an administrator and the teacher as a teacher. But I think most teachers, I believe, are going to actually be a little bit more critical of themselves when it comes to reflection. And for me, what I want to see them get out of this, if there's something they've been thinking about in their classroom that they want to do, improve, or just make something better, this is a perfect method to do that. It's not going to be earth-shattering perhaps, but if it makes things better in the classroom, more fine-tuned, or some instruction better, that's what we're looking for on an annual basis anyway. And it provides variety, so.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the Family and Medical Leave Act Policy, FMLA.
So move.
Thank you, Joel. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Aaron. Discussion?
This is just a revision. It is basically what we had previously, but this is coming from our health insurance company to just help protect us. We've talked about the situations in the past where other schools have been, caught with large claims because of this. So I just want to follow what they're recommending so we're all safe.
Just thinking about this, so Lori, was it last year we had the question about who could attend deployment and redeployment ceremonies? Does this,
This has nothing to do with that.
okay, that does not supplement over that?
Nope.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to accept the resignation of Jennifer Valesky, Business Office Administrative Assistant.
So move.
Thank you, Larry. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Aaron. Discussion?
I'd just like to personally thank her for her 20 years of service. She actually started the same year that I started here. Clark Rand hired us both that year, so it's been a nice run, 20 years.
I guess I didn't see that one coming. Was there a letter, Tom, or?
I don't believe, was there a letter on the packet? I don't.
It was not in the packet.
Okay.
Okay.
I think the key thing is that we have to echo what Jim says. I mean, Jennifer's been here for a long time, and thank you very much. It's a tough job sometimes being the superintendent or the high school principal's person at the front desk that maybe takes the complaints first. At the same time, you know, she's been very dedicated to the Webster Area School District for a long time, and thank you on behalf of the board. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, motion to approve designations, and do I just rattle these off again, or I'm trying to remember how, we did it as one motion.
One motion for P, and then we'll just go through line by line and just say who had it or who wants it, or.
All right, motion to approve official designations, line item P.
So moved.
Thank you, Marty. Second, Joel. First off, discussion, official newspaper. Day County Reporter and Farmer. Depository of funds. Am I going too fast?
Nope.
Okay. And we have on that one Dakota Bank, Core Trust Bank, and Great Western Bank, correct?
And South Dakota Fit.
Okay. Custodian of all accounts. And you can jump in and just start rattling these off because you'll be quicker than I will.
Okay, that's
Lori.
myself.
Person authorized for state/federal programs.
Mr. Block.
Okay. Appoint approval officers for school food service application and hearing officials.
That's Mr. Block, myself, and then one school board member in case someone doesn't agree with their determination. And last year it was Aaron.
Well, Aaron, the good news is I looked down the row and I saw all chins point towards you. You still in?
That was a tough job.
Maybe I should take that one.
Chins have it, Aaron's got it. All right. Motion appoint a member and 2 alternates to the NESC.
It was, Marty was the member and Aaron and Joel were alternates.
I'm good with that.
I'm really good with it.
I'll do it again unless somebody else wants it.
Larry, you good with that?
I'm good with that.
That passed. Okay. Aaron, you good?
I'm good.
All right. Appoint a member for the Board of Equalization.
That was Tom.
Sounds good.
I'll do it. Truancy officers.
Mr. Block, Mr. Case.
Title IX and 504 coordinators.
Title IX, Mr. Block, 504, Mr. Case. Is that correct, Mr. Block? Yep.
Designate Rodney Freeman as school attorney. All good still with that? Good. Purchasing. What's that?
Is there anybody else in the world that does that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's the only name I ever hear associated with it.
There is a lawyer in Aberdeen that I think he services Aberdeen, but I don't know if he does.
Roy King does quite a little bit. He works with Aberdeen Central, and there's other attorneys. There's actually quite a few school
He's the
attorneys.
name all I've ever really heard. He must do most of them, huh?
I think
He's
Rodney's
majority.
well established. He has a good reputation. Purchasing agent.
Myself.
Okay. Approved statement of assurances for federal programs. Yes.
Yes.
Designate majority vote. Approval needed by majority of all school board members. Unchanged. Appoint a person to invest and borrow funds in the name of the district.
Myself.
Set all school board meetings for 2021-2022, second Monday of each month, commencing at 7 p.m. as per our usual. Everybody's good? Okay. Interest generated may be transferred to the general fund. That doesn't ever happen. Allow use of signature stamp for the business manager, the business manager, the superintendent, and most certainly myself. We're all good with that? Okay, committee assignments. And gentlemen, on committee assignments, I want to make sure I haven't lost track of my notes. We have, let's see, we've got negotiations. Last year was Sanis and Shoemaker. Marty is out. Larry did it last year, before that. I'm willing to do an extra year, Aaron, if you want to have another year before you jump on board.
That works for me.
Okay, I'll do it. Joel, you still in? Okay. Professional practice, personnel, we've got Shoemaker and Sanis. Anybody want to jump on board? That one was not a very busy job this year. I'll take it then again here. Joel, you're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Buildings and ground, Jareva, Gaikowski. Seems like right now with the way we've been going, maybe Jareva and Shoemaker might be the way to go next year. Since it seems like you guys are doing a lot of work the way it is. You good with it again one more time, Larry?
Yeah, I'll finish it out.
Okay. Joel? Good, Marty? Aaron, good?
Yep.
Okay. Transportation, Shoemaker and Lowinga. Still good, gents?
Unless, Aaron, do you want on it?
That'd be, because Shoemaker, so far you've got the quadrifecta. You've got one on everything. You want to jump in on transportation?
You'd be good, yep.
Gaikowski and Lowinga. Okay. Motion to, set salary for board members. It's still $60 per meeting. We're all good with that, gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay.
Discussion?
Discussion. Let's see, next we're at substitute rates. Last year we were at $105 per day. Long-term sub after 10 days was $130 per day.
If they were not certified, if they're certified, it's $180 after the contract. We did raise these rates last year. You can do it again, but also at the back of your
I think
board packet.
we're at the top of the pendulum there, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. If you compare it, I put the other school district, what their rates are in, if you saw that.
Yep.
So you can compare.
That's easy for me to say as a board member looking, in comparison to other districts, it looks like we're at the top end. But you folks are the ones out there trying to find the substitutes. Are we competitive?
I think we're all right. We get comments every now and then when they find out about another district that's paying a lot more. I guess I didn't look at the list.
Yeah, I didn't either.
You have, did we seem to be higher?
We're at the top.
I think last year we were pretty aggressive because we knew we had issues with
We had to, we
with COVID.
addressed that last year.
Yeah.
I would be in favor of just leaving them as they are.
We're adequate with substitutes. We're fortunate that we have a lot of folks who have retired that still want to work a little bit, and then we have some long-term subs. Not long-term, they've subbed many, many days in a row, but have been subbing for many, many years. They're still willing to do it.
Okay.
I am aware of a couple of our subs that have taken positions that will not be available next year's.
You good, Aaron? Larry?
Yeah.
Marty? Okay. Motion to, set the mileage rate at 42 cents, the state rate. All good?
Yes.
We just spoke about, all right. Authorize the superintendent to advertise for personnel as openings occur and to close the school due to inclement weather or other emergencies. All good with that, correct?
Yep.
Lunch and breakfast prices.
Can we
Do each one
Can we
individually?
start new motions now, please?
Oh, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Now, does it have to be two separate ones on queue? Or one?
No, that can be one.
Okay. Are you good on that one, or do I need to call for a separate
No,
one?
I'm good. That can be included.
All
You're
right.
fine.
Motion to set lunch and breakfast prices.
So move.
Thank you, Joel. Second. Thank you, Aaron. Discussion, I think we kicked this can around. Everybody good with keeping the same as last year? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to set meal reimbursement rates.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Marty.
Do we have a say in that?
What?
I think we do. But I think the state rates is what we've usually gone with.
State rates for staff.
Yeah.
But we're also setting the rates for students that participate. They get meal money for state events only. And again, I had those comparisons in the.
I think we're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, motion to set admission prices.
So move.
Thank you, Aaron. Second? Thank you, Marty. Discussion?
Are we throwing out the tickets and all the other things for events this year?
The COVID policies?
Yeah, everything. I don't know if that affects our set admission, but last year, so many could attend or whatever, so this year we anticipate everything's open.
My recommendation is that we function as normal as possible. We will have to discuss some of those details with our plan. A few items tonight that we can discuss, and then more again in August. But it's going to be my recommendation that we're open as normal, and that would be contingent on the number of cases that we have in the area. If the Delta variants becomes an issue, it's still a fluid situation, but for all practical purposes, I'm hoping we can function normal.
We good with where our rates are at in comparison to the rest of the Northeast Conference, Jim? I think we're good.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see any reason to raise those rates. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to set Armory key card prices.
So move.
Thank you, I think Aaron, then Joel with the second. Discussion. We want to leave that the same, gentlemen?
I have not heard anything lately. I don't know. Have you guys?
It's probably because it was a free year, Joel.
Yeah. I think we've got a heck of a facility down there, and I think that our rates are competitive, and I would both leave them the same.
They're not only competitive, they're amazing. And it's a great rate for the equipment and the access. Now that we have air conditioning that actually works versus the 1960s air conditioners, I mean, it actually gets below 80 degrees in that room now during the summer. It's very nice.
So
the Armory's in great shape.
When's the free key card expire then?
December.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discussion items. Dr. Block.
I just have a couple of items under this part because we'll discuss some other things with the buildings and grounds and ESSER and the plan. The homeschool participation, we're still waiting on recommendations for policy, but really in essence what's going to happen is our current policy will become null and void because we have expectations that if a student is going to participate in athletics, they have to be here for a half a day. We will no longer be able to do that. What we're waiting on to hear from the state, the Associated School Board, is coming up with policies as to deal with eligibility, grades, training rules, transfer, open enrollment, all kinds of things that can come into play with homeschooling. And so our policy per se is going to be easy to change because most of what we have in our policy we'll just have to strike through and it will no longer exist. I don't know if you have any comments or questions about that, but they're still developing some drafts at the state level. The next item that I have is the medical marijuana. We just need to have something in place for how we will handle it when we do have to handle it. I would be surprised if it's something that we're going to deal with right away and a lot of small schools may or may not have to, but who knows where it's gonna go. And again, they are still working with that. It's currently, I don't wanna say there's some debate, but the original draft that they had sent forth to the committee, there were some things the committee didn't like and said, yeah, we gotta adjust some of these things. So it's still in the process of being drafted. So we're just kind of waiting and seeing, and there are some schools that are dealing with homeschool students who were participants in their districts previously, and there's forms that we have to use to send to the state just manually until we have a policy in place and a system in place to utilize it online. So that's all I have for that portion of my notes. Unless you have questions or comments.
Nope. Good to go. Thank you, Dr. Block. Mr. Case, principal report.
July is kind of my slow month in the office, so I don't have a whole lot to share. We did talk about that playground area and an estimate on engineered wood fibers, which I did have a cost, was about $6,000. Then I did get an estimate back about removing the P-rock, black borders, and then hauling that away, and then putting the wood fibers back in, and then putting the borders back around the playground area. So with the wood fibers, the estimate comes to about $20,000 is what I have to report back on that. And that's just one estimate that I got. So, you know, I could search and see if there's other estimates out there too. Other possible people that might want to bid on that.
Should be in the wood fiber replacement business.
Yeah.
You know, Groton just redid theirs, and I drove by it this morning and see.
Yeah, I saw they had a pile of wood fiber when I was over there last.
I don't know, you know, I don't know how they did it. I don't know, would it be worth giving them a call and asking them who they got to do it or where they?
Yeah, I could give them a call.
Please do.
Because I'm not so sure it wasn't a group of, I shouldn't say that, but I remember when we were working over there 4 years ago, I think they started that project and I wasn't so sure it wasn't a group of volunteers or, you know, I just don't remember exactly how that went. But
I did have another estimate on engineered wood fibers, but that one was higher than about the $6,000 one I had, so.
Do you have to undercut and landscape and everything before you place the fiber back and stuff, or do we have any specs for what you're gonna ask?
They do recommend that you do put some P-rock at the bottom of it and then engineered wood fiber on top of it. I know when we did when we put that, erected that, and then put the engineered wood fiber in there, we did not do that the last time we did that.
When you say
it's just a recommendation.
When you say P-rock under the wood fiber?
Yeah, just for.
Is there a mat between? Would sand be better? Or, I'm just saying, we're removing rock.
I think the P-rock would be under there for, so the water would saturate and drain.
Has a way out. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, call me crazy, but I could see 20 football players and 15 wrestlers out there filling a couple of donated dump trailers, you know, to get rid of the product and maybe help carry it in, or, you know, I don't know. I think we need to do something, but
yeah,
that's a lot of money.
Right, yeah, picking it up, hauling it out, putting it back in, you know, that's the
just some labor.
Expensive part. The labor part is $14,000.
Do you have to remove all the apparatuses when you do it and everything?
What's that, Larry?
Do you remove all the apparatuses when you do it and everything?
No, you can work around it. But yeah, that's where that.
I just wondered, because there's holes where the swing is, and there's, you know.
It'll be tough work getting under that, some of the apparatuses to get that out of there. Otherwise a bobcat, you know, can handle what's in the open if you can maneuver in there to pull that away.
I'm just thinking you should maybe have a few specs or something so the contractor knows what you're expecting. If you're gonna get more than one or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, do you remove it all, or do you? I don't know.
Remove all of the P-rock?
Yeah, I'm just saying to kind of protect yourself when they remove, if they define just exactly what they're doing.
Right.
Not just, removing 2 inches and putting 2 inches on top or what. I don't know what the expectations are. That's what I'm asking.
Why don't we see if we can find out a little bit more information there, Craig, if you wouldn't mind tracking down with Groton. And it may be worth checking to see if this is something we can do with a little bit more in-house volunteer labor that we can invest back into programs rather than investing back out into just business.
We've only got a month to have it done, or would like to have it done in a month, right?
Right. If you want to have it done before school starts.
Yeah, so we want to.
We go that route.
We don't want them out there with equipment when the school starts. So.
No. Otherwise, what we've done over the years is just put more P-rock in there to help with the cushion.
Let's think about that one. Let's get some more information. Let's bring that back here in August.
Okay. Will do.
I think.
Wait till August?
Where do you want to?
When is that meeting?
August 9th.
9th?
I guess I would just throw up that I'd be good if we could.
If we could talk Mr. Case into do it.
Well, we could find out, if we could get the volunteer, $20,000. Joel, your idea, if Groton does, on Collie, look, they advertise it in the Aberdeen American News every year about how much their constituents, invest back into the school by painting locker rooms and doing those type of things. Maybe if this is something where we could have, athletes removing it, some parents that could help. $20,000 invested back into our athletic programs would be a heck of a good investment. And so I'd like to explore that if we could a little more.
I would tell you this, that if you could find some volunteer labor, I will donate some trailers or whatever's needed to.
Oh, okay.
I'll match their labor donation. 'Cause it is a good project, and it's a learning project. Get out there and build something. It's a great project.
Yep, I can do that.
What's the availability of the wood fiber?
I think it comes out of Fargo, is that what I said?
I think that's what you said.
That's not a problem.
I don't think so. I think I'd have to call or check with them to see if it's readily available.
Can we see if Groton still had a pile left? If they have to get rid of any of it?
Yeah, I can check.
Team building exercises.
A lot of shoveling.
Yep.
Otherwise, that's all I had to share for this one.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Case. NESC.
The new director, Andrea Powell, has started her position. She was actually here on Friday. I gave her a tour of the center base, as well as the rest of our building. She will come into our building occasionally. There's an IEP that she needs to be a part of, or the assistant director brewing comes to. So I showed her the facility, introduced her to Lori, because there's some correspondence that they have throughout the year as well. We discussed the center-based staff. They are still looking for paras. I think there's 2 positions for sure that they're still trying to fill. But she did have positive news that they had a couple of applicants that they're interviewing here in the near future. So we'll see how that goes. Beyond that, it's the start of a new year and getting things going.
Okay. Buildings and grounds.
In general, if you've been through our building, there's been a lot of items in the hallway. You can see that the high school hallways are actually now just about pretty much vacant, so they're just about complete with all of the waxing of the floors in each of the classrooms. They do a fair amount of touch-up paint, different things like that. Our custodians, unfortunately, do not have the time to actually paint full rooms and paint full hallways. something that's challenging for them to do. So they typically do high traffic areas of painting, and then you try to find somebody that will help do it. Sometimes it's okay to get the students to, the student custodians to do it, but that's not always the best project for them to do either, depending on what you're asking them to do. But things are coming along quite well in the building. I think they will be ready, and it's moving along quite nice. The foundation removal, I had mentioned that briefly at the completion of our meeting last Thursday. I did contact the contractor to remove that and asked him to move forward with it, put it on the schedule. I don't have a specific date as to when it's going to happen, but he did share with me that he asked, are you hoping to have this done sooner than later? I said, well, for obvious reasons, yes, and he's going to try to get it done as soon as he can fit it into his schedule. So,
can I ask who's doing it?
Clint Drury. And then he also is able to take care of the water portion of it that the city, and I've asked Lori, we'll just invoice the city their portion of that total bill when it's complete. And I've had conversation with folks at the city office as well as Mayor Mike regarding that. So, and Clint is just corresponding with the folks who work with the water part of it, so that they get what they want as the city workers. So. And then we're still waiting for approval on the ESSER 2 application. There's several projects within our summer stuff that we would like to move forward with that we haven't heard yet. Have you heard anything recently?
And when you were talking about summer maintenance, I do believe we put in there also to repaint all of the hallways and everything. And so if that gets approved, we could actually...
Contract.
Yes.
And those are typically approvable projects because you're basically cleaning all of the touch areas that unfortunately get touched a lot probably in a school. So that's what I have so far for the buildings and grounds, unless there's additional discussion regarding anything moving forward, boiler project or anything like that.
Heating and cooling's good in all of them?
This unit right here has been acting up, so we had that shut down. After our meeting Thursday, it was just making some odd sounds, and I had shut it down manually through the computer system, and then it automatically starts with its normal cycle again at midnight or 2 in the morning, whenever it does. And so I checked on it Friday morning, and it just sounded like it was binding, and rather than have a fire issue or something like that, we contacted Johnson Controls, and they've shut it down so that it can be shut down long term. We'll have somebody come and look at it. The 6th grade classroom, we're still doing some troubleshooting with that one. There's just some issues with the unit not working properly, and so they're working on that. I'm trying to think if there's the kitchen. That one, I think there's some issues with the thermostat or the sensor, because it seems to either be so cold or so hot in the kitchen area, and so they're trying to work with those as well. It's an ongoing thing, and we have a tremendous amount of units within this building. So sometimes in the summertime, we're not quite sure what's not functioning properly because there's no traffic in the certain areas. You know, once they are done with the room and have waxed the floors and put everything back together, and there's no traffic in there, so we sometimes run into that a little bit later in the summer and find out something's not working properly. So.
Okay. Return to school plan.
I don't have the full-fledged plan ready for your review. However, we have discussed a couple times in the last couple of meetings what we will maybe do and some of the things that I'm recommending. I'm just going to, I'll tell you what I've put together so far. There's 2 documents that I provided on each of your tables. This document here is, this is not the full-fledged data review, but this gives you some graphs that give you an idea of what the results were for the teacher para input, and then the second page at the top you'll see parent-student input. And so you can see some consistencies there for the most part. Very confident, 1 and 2 in that area. You know, you can see, you can add up the percentages to see that the majority of our teachers believe that the health and safety was maintained. We do have some that had some concerns. I don't know if that was early on, which it most likely was, or if it was something that was ongoing. The teachers, how confident were you that your students made sufficient academic progress? For the most part, our teachers believe that their students did well. And if you compare that to the second page, at the bottom, the second page where it says parent student, how confident that your child made sufficient academic progress, you can see that that kind of falls in line too. So at least our teachers and our parents are, for the most part, in agreement that last year, although it was a crazy year, a different year and a unique year, for all practical purposes, we probably functioned quite well academically as well. One of our challenges with the ESSER funds is to utilize 20% of the ESSER 3 funds towards learning loss. And I say that's a challenge because we may not have enough students that need summer assistance a year from now when we're 2 years past COVID that would utilize that much money. And so we're looking into options that we can utilize that money for. We did have a summer program this summer, but it was all private, where we've got a teacher that's providing tutoring, and we've had that in place for many years. There's different teachers that will provide tutoring services, and they charge a little bit to those. The difference with that is that that's for those families that are willing to pay versus those that would be free. And so I would propose that we probably would be looking at some sort of a summer program next summer, in which we can pay the teachers to do it and not charge the students to participate. That's something we'll have to coordinate with the elementary. And we'll utilize the MAPS testing, our standardized testing with the state testing to kind of see where we're falling in line. Those results, where I can dig into them a little bit more into individual scores, we'll do the same thing we always do, a 3-year comparison of the students that were advanced or proficient and the students that were basic or below basic. We kind of do a comparison to see where things are at, to see if there's any red flags we need to look at. So that's the data, and this is going to drive some of what we do. For the most part, this is a document that it's kind of patterned after Lake Area Tech's original draft. They corresponded with the Department of Health, with Prairie Lakes Hospital, and Lake Area Tech to come up with a draft similar to this. We have a person who helps us with some of our grant writing with title funding, and she provided this information and said, utilize what you want. And so I kind of drafted this for us. It is not set in stone, so if you take it home, read it tonight, you want to call and yell at me or call and say, yep, this is great, whatever. Please read through it and see if it's kind of in jive and what you guys are thinking we're going to move forward with. I didn't put anything in particular in there regarding whether or not we're going to require masks, encourage masks, social distancing, flex learning, all of that stuff. But I can tell you where I kind of stand on those things if you want to know that tonight. I've already said that it's my hope that we can function as normal as possible. I personally don't believe that we need to have the elementary students in both the gym and the commons area for lunch, unless COVID dictates that we need to go to that length again. The social distancing, the CDC is recommending 3 feet. They had recommended that back in March or April, and we just chose to keep our markings on the floor until the end of the year, kind of finish out the year, and then move forward. We may perhaps do different markings on the floor so that 3 feet remains in place just as a precaution. Doesn't mean we're gonna throw kids out of school because they're not 3 feet apart, but just be mindful of what we're dealing with as an ongoing issue. Flex learning, I believe that our students should be back in school. And what I would say for those that have extenuating circumstances, we already have a process in place, which is called the 504, which he's the 504 director, you have some sort of a medical issue or some sort of a diagnosis that requires you to have an alternative placement for being in school or not being in school the whole day, we already have a 504 plan. And that's for those unique situations. And that's what I would propose we do. Flex learning is, in my opinion, it should be gone unless we need to, as a school-wide system, go with flex learning.
These 139 responses on your last question here, was that parents, students?
Yes, the first page, as I said, this is teachers and paras, 26 responses for the teachers and paras.
The last one on the back page.
The second page, you'll see, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, those conflict.
Oh, wait. Oh, this, good catch. This one is actually from my teachers. So I need to figure out my,
I just had a comment.
Oh, yeah, I put my heading too soon. My heading should have been down here. There were fewer questions for, I had more questions for the teachers because I asked about professional development and things like that, so this heading should have been down here. The concern for social and emotional, this one is actually teachers at the top of this page, and the social and emotional responses for parents is at the bottom of the very last page.
The 139 responses?
Yes. There were 140 responses total, and for whatever reason, some people didn't answer every single question, so that's the difference in one or two.
When I look at this, you know, when you look at keeping, and you talk flex learning, keeping the kids at school and whatever, I don't think if there's any district that, or other states where they didn't have kids in school, this chart would look a lot different. This first, where there's a percentage of 3% that's very concerned with, that would be, that's tremendous for keeping the kids in school. You're social and emotional. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I think the fact that we did run and had school has made a change. I will mention to you that the primary topic that came out of the social and emotional questions for parents dealt with bullying. And that, really that's not a COVID issue, that's an ongoing concern that we have as a school all the time.
Yeah, the social emotional, I just looked at that and, wow, that's great. I mean, think if they weren't in school.
It is great, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I think we did as good a job as any school district in the state of South Dakota navigating through COVID. We rolled with the punches, we made adjustments as needed, we kept the kids in the building. And the top comment down here, stop wearing masks. You're telling me that 10% of the people that filled out this survey think that we mandated masks. You know, we didn't. We rolled with the punches. We made avenues for kids to have choices, yet stay in school. And so there's just so much misinformation out there. I thought we did a really good job, but evidently 10% of the people didn't.
Joel, I agree.
That's got my goat rate. I'm mad.
Just to remind everybody, remember, we set that policy to get the students back in school.
Yeah, nobody wanted him here.
We were the first school district in the state, and so I had a patron that hit me up about us being weak on this type of issue, which couldn't be furthest from the truth. I mean, we were the first school district, and we're the one that got that catalyst going, and then other school districts started to adopt it. I mean, if you all recall, that was Department of Education came up online after we'd given them a heads up at least, 7-10 days? Then all of a sudden, when it was going to start happening, everything changed. And that was our school district. And I think we did do a good job of trying to work with the science, work with the parents, work with the students, and I'll stand behind that. We weren't waiting just to be told and follow like sheep. We worked hard to keep the students in the school.
With choices.
We thought outside the box too, and
absolutely.
Kudos to you guys for bringing some of those ideas towards us, or to the forefront. So.
Is there anything coming from Department of Ed or Health as far as 12-year-olds and up and vaccinations or anything?
Yeah, they're encouraging anybody that's 12 years or 13 and older. I
12.
I don't know if 12 is included or not.
12 is.
12-year-olds and up to become vaccinated. And this doesn't have all of the comments. There are comments. Again, I will say this, and I said it many times, that this is probably one of the most polarizing topics I've ever been associated with since I became an educator. I mean, it's just unbelievable the passion that people have for the side that they stand on, for those that are on opposite
Both sides.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
It's not just one.
Anyway, where was I going with that? What did you ask?
With the vaccination.
Vaccinations. Yes, I had there are some comments that says kids should not be allowed in school unless they're vaccinated. Well, that doesn't do anything for our pre-K to 12-year-olds because we can't, they don't have the option to be vaccinated. I am not aware of any vaccine for kids that age. I do believe they're working on it, but that's going to be forthcoming probably a ways in the future.
But when I sit here and I just look back and I think about the last year, the staff and the students, they were rock stars. Through the whole process, adjusting with us as we changed and we rolled with it. I think that everybody did well working together.
Probably the biggest criticism that I saw as a pattern is the inconsistency between the elementary did a really nice job of wearing masks more often. Middle school was not quite as good as, and then high school was terrible. The word failure was used to describe the high school students wearing them. So
It just again depended on who it was.
Go a little bit farther, you said staff, and then a part of our staff too that really were rock stars were our substitutes.
Yeah.
There were days that we had a lot of substitutes. We'd go through the whole list to get them here. And yeah, there was a point in time where if we had to get a couple more subs, we might have had to call school off. But they stepped up to the plate and did an awesome job too, our subs.
I happened to pay attention to my kids' report cards the other day, and Gavin really was knocking it out of the park with absences because I think he was right at the top with the most quarantines, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
he get hit like 4 times on a close contact list, didn't he?
Oh, no, Jim. No, that was like September. No, if you look at the number of absences he has, it's. And then he never got COVID until that last basketball game against Teoshpa. He had all those, hits for getting quarantined, and then the last basketball game, boom, he gets popped. So, but he had a lot of absences.
You sure he was close contact?
Pretty sure. Well, he got hit. So
with our plan moving forward, I'm going to say that our plan is going to have basically the recommendations that I have, unless you guys direct me otherwise. And it's going to be, we already know what we need to do if we are dealing with an increased number of cases in the community or an increased number of cases within our system, whether it's students or staff. And so we know what we will need to do. We can probably fine tune some of that process. And so I have last year's plan in place. This plan will be more brief because I'm not going to include all of the mask stuff, all of the social distancing stuff. It will still be there in our plan to utilize if we need to.
Okay. All right, any other questions for Jim? All right. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Our next scheduled meeting is Monday, August 9th at 7 p.m. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. See you next time. Thanks.